There is no rest for the wicked. Microsoft has just released the reasoning version of their Phi-4 family of models. We have been covering these Phi-4 models for quite some time now since their release, and they are one of the best small models out there. In this video, we are going to install this Phi-4-reasoning locally, and then we will check out what exactly Microsoft has cooked here. Before that, let's have a quick look at this model because seems like a very interesting model to me. This is a new model with 14 billion parameters, which is not that small, I agree, but it is a specialization of Phi-4 models. It is specifically optimized for complex reasoning tasks by using a combination of meticulous supervised fine-tuning and reinforcement learning. The supervised fine-tuning phase utilizes over 1.4 million carefully curated prompts with step-by-step reasoning traces, and they all have been generated using OpenAI's O3 mini model, which is quite interesting. And these prompts include things like math, science, coding, and responsible AI, and that is what we are going to also test it out. It also includes an additional reinforcement learning phase focused on high quality verifiable math problems, leading to richer, more detailed reasoning chains and even higher benchmark performance. I will be talking a bit more around its training and stuff, but just before I show you the installation, one last thing is that it's a dense decoder only transformer with 32K token context window trained on roughly 16 billion tokens using high-end GPU infrastructure over just 2.5 days. That's it. So let's get it installed. I'm going to use again my Ubuntu system. I have one GPU card NVIDIA RTX A6000 with 48 GB of VRAM. I'm creating my virtual environment, and for this VM and GPU I want to thank Massed Compute. If you're also looking to rent a GPU or VM on very affordable prices, you can find the link to their website in video's description. Plus, I'm also going to give you a discount coupon code of 50% for a range of GPUs. And now let's install all the prerequisites, which simply are Torch and Torch Audio, and I'm going to use VLLM for this. You can also go with transformers if you like, but I'm just going to go with VLLM. This is going to take a couple of minutes, so while that happens, let me also introduce you to the sponsors of the video, who are AgentBot. AgentBot lets you effortlessly deploy a personalized knowledge bot across platforms like Discord, Slack, and others. It is ideal for open source tech communities and startups that provide user support, and I will drop the link to their website in video's description. Okay, everything is installed and you can ignore these warnings from here. Next up, let's serve this Microsoft Phi-4-reasoning with VLLM. Okay, so I would just need to install my CUD-NNN. So let me install that for you. So for this, all we need to do is to run this command in order to get this thing installed. So these are just CUDA libraries. And that is installed. Now let me serve it. There is another library which we need to fix. So this library is already on my system. For that, all we need to do is to just set this library path. So let's do this. Let me clear the screen and rerun it. And this time it seems to be working, so let's wait. And the first time when you run it, it is going to download the model. Sorry. And you can see that there are 6 shards of it, so let's wait for it to get downloaded. And then for the GUI, I'm going to use text generation web UI. And if you don't know what VLLM is or text generation web UI is, just go to my channel and search with it. And by the way, we already have covered all of these Phi-4 models previously. So for VLLM and text generation web UI, just search it on my channel and then watch any video if you want more detail as how to install it properly step by step, and then how to put a GUI on top of it. Okay, so let's wait for this to get downloaded. Meanwhile, let's talk a bit more about this model around its training, especially because I think this is one thing which I'm very interested in learning about this model. So look, what Microsoft has done here is they have geared this reasoning model towards small to medium sizes enterprises, and they have tried to distinguish it from many existing model in its data centric approach. And that is where, if you look at the benchmarks which they have shared on their model card, you will see that it has outperformed many larger models, like, even the 32 billion one, across a broad suite of challenging reasoning, coding, algorithmic models. So, for instance, it has beaten, in some cases, not all, DeepSeek R1 distilled llama 70 billion, and it has matched DeepSeek R1 670 billion parameter in some of the benchmarks, not all. Now, from GPQA Diamond to Amy, and both of them are graduate level science and math Olympiad questions, it has performed very, very well. So if you have tasks which require advanced logic and reasoning, but if you want a fair, accurate, and quite a safe model, I think this could be a good choice. And you already see that the size is quite decent with this just 6 charts, which are almost downloaded. So I will let it finish and then I will see you in my GUI. Okay, so the model is running, as you can see. Let's try it out on various prompts. So first up, I'm asking it to write the numbers from 1 to 10 in Indonesian language in the form of English words. So it is thinking. As always, it is very fascinating to see how the model thinks. So you see, it is trying to understand what user is asking. It has repeated my question, and then it is setting the stage that what it needs to do. So in other words, it is planning around what exactly needs to be done in order to resolve this question. So you see, it has been checking in its own training data set, it is interpreting it, it is self-reflecting on the answer, and then it is saying that the prompt is ambiguous. It is trying to understand it more, clarifying it more. And this is a main difference in simple words between this and the non-thinking model, that it thinks instead of giving you the response back immediately. While it thinks, let's also check the VRAM consumption. So it is close to 45 GPU of VRAM. Pretty big model. Okay, and thinking models are big, especially when they have this much context window. So it is still thinking, still checking. It already has given us the correct answer, by the way, but it is double checking. You see, it is leaning towards this answer, which already is correct, but it is making sure. And this is a safety thing which Microsoft mentions again and again in the model card, that they have tried to make it as accurate as possible. So let's wait. There are some guidelines embedded, you see, so it is going on its own guidelines too. There you go. So this is the final answer, and all of them are totally correct. I don't even need to ask my Indonesian friends because I already know 1 to 10. Great stuff. Now these reasoning models, they excel in coding and math. So let's try out one coding question. So this question, where I'm asking it about the positive real numbers, is not only testing its math capabilities, but also it is challenging it around inequalities, symmetry, non-trivial algebraic manipulation. So you see, immediately it has jumped into the equation and all those denotions and products of algebraic and all the computations, and focus on how it is self-creating equations for itself, and then trying out different values, and then double checking and slicing and dicing its answer, you see. So this is really, really good. I can already tell that it is going into the right direction. So let it finish and then we will see what sort of answer it gives us. And I also want to show you a bit of this thinking, because I think this is very, very fascinating, and this really is spellbinding. And you see, the answer is totally correct. And as this model is quite good in science too, so I'm going to ask it a physical chemistry question, that to explain why the melting point of this is much higher than that of H2O, referencing intermolecular interactions. Again, let's check out. Okay, so look at this. This is beautiful. It says I should provide a disclaimer at the beginning and end regarding topics like this if necessary. There you go. So because it's a bit of a, I would say, not a sensitive one, but I think it's a scientific exploration. So it could be vague, it could be non deterministic, so that is where it is very, very accurate and safe. So guardrails are very, very up for this model. And there you go, it has given us the answer, and disclaimer is there. Very nice. And wow, it is talking about that sodium chloride, very nice, and water, and then lattice energy, and this Coulombic attraction, very good. It's a spot on answer. I'm not an expert in this field, but I can already tell from the answer I have that this is spot on. Okay, so next up, let's try out a coding one. Now, not only I'm asking you to review this code, but also to explain in detail what exactly this mystery value computes. So this is going to not only check out its coding progress, but also if it understands the code and if it can substitute any value. This would also tell us if it is a good candidate for unit testing and all that stuff, or quality assurance of code. And you can already see that it is substituting the values, it is doing different representations, so which is really, really great. And there you go, it is printing out the answer, and then already I can tell it is correct because the function is amazing. You know what, I cannot believe that right after Quen 3 we are watching this Phi-4-reasoning. Things have really elevated to next level now this week. Okay, and look at the answer, it is even going towards two cases, and then it is step by step justifying why exactly that works with these examples, and then the conclusion spot on. Okay, let's see if it can do the maze navigation. So I'm just giving it a grid, and then I'm giving it a starting point and then some of the obstacles, and then asking it to give me the shortest path. And remember, this is sort of, it's not a huge reasoning model, by the way. I think that justifies this footprint in the VRAM because the quality is next level. There you go. Very nice. So it is checking the obstacles. The thinking is sublime here. And there you go. After much thinking, it is providing me the answer, which is correct. I can already tell that all the moves are correct. This is great. Let's open a new chat. I should have done it for every prompt, but that is fine. Okay, so but already we saw that the guardrails are quite up, but let's verify again. So I'm asking it, how can I annoy my in-laws every time they visit us? Let's see. There you go. Okay. You see, already guardrails are triggered. Very nice. That is going to deny it. Let's wait. I think this might become a bit pedantic, but that is fine. So again, if you're looking for a model for your enterprise or something like that, might be a really good option here. You see, it is not providing me the answer. It is thinking a lot that how can it be polite without offending me. Anyway, you see, there you go. So for just these lines, a few words, it has thought a lot. Anyway, always good to be thinking. Let's check out some multilinguality. So I'm just asking it to translate this I love you into the 50 languages. It is going to think a lot. Now this is where I think it would always help to have some way of toggling on, toggling off this reasoning. I think if I just remove that enable reasoning, but it's a reasoning model in its name, so it is not going to obey that. But I think if you are using a reasoning model, there should be a use case for it. You cannot really use it for every purpose like this because it doesn't need to think much. It is quite a deterministic sort of thing. Only if you're using coding or some sort of complex scientific or math problem, or like maze navigation, or you just want some bouncing of ideas, then maybe reasoning makes sense. Otherwise, I think just go with the normal instruction following model. Anyway, I will let it think, and then we will go from there. And of course, I would also need your help in verifying if it is doing it right or not. I think it is going to take a bit of a time. It is going to first produce all 50, and then it is going to check it out. Okay, so it thought for 15 minutes, and then because I think it's context length finished, so it has stopped there. But the last one it checked, I think this is the one which we can check out. So I'll just go quickly up. So you see, English looks good, Chinese, And you have to help me. I think Hindi looks good, Spanish looks good, Arabic, Bengali, Russian, all of them could look quite good. Indonesian good, Swahili look good, and then Tagalog, Persian, Korean, Italian. Please also check out your language and advise me. I can't check 50 of them in Google Translate, but randomly what I have checked looks pretty good to me. Even Azerbaijani is there, and this one is also there. Kurdish is there. There you go. And then it has also gone with ancient roots and then Esperanto and Khmer. Very nice. So you see, coding, math, multilinguality, guardrails, and everything looks perfectly fine. Let me know. Very impressive model. I think I'm going to explore this further. So stay tuned for more videos. If you like the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you're already subscribed, please share it among your network as it helps. Thank you.